All right, this is OneLastMidnight, and today we're going to play a little bit of Per Aspera. Now, Per Aspera is a planetary simulation game that combines hard science fiction and base building and takes it on a whole planet-wide scale. It released on Steam on January 3rd, 2020, and currently has mixed reviews. The game currently sells at $30 US, and the price tag might be a little bit steep for a builder game. The company has been hard at work trying to address people's issues within the game and have already released 4 patches and changed a lot of the base features and some of the functionality to address issues that have been raised and concerns by players. The goal of the game is to terraform Mars, and you play as an advanced AI that is building up the colony to get it ready for human inhabitants. Now, your decisions can bring you either closer or farther away from the goal that you're trying to achieve, so making good decisions is critical. The visuals of the game are impressive, starting with Mars itself. Mars is modeled off of the actual Mars data. Not only the size, but the topography is also modeled off of NASA information. You can zoom out far above the planet, allowing you to view Mars's moons, Phobos, and Deimos. Unfortunately, at this time, you cannot travel to the moons of Mars. Zooming in on the planet, we see stunning detail of Mars and Mars's topography. Not only can you zoom in, but you're allowed to tilt and pan, showing the base off in fine detail. Not only is the topography stunning, but there's actual scientific data that they have incorporated into the game, such as initial landing areas on Mars, giving you not only a little bit of detail, but actual locations of where some of these items have landed or were last seen. There are also some dangers that you'll encounter. There's impact areas, so there's a possibility that your base might be destroyed by some sort of impact. And you will also see atmospheric effects such as dust devils, which can roll through and destroy your base. Dust devils are essentially the tornadoes of Per Aspera. When you start off the game, you arrive slowly on Mars to eventually reach your initial landing spot. Like all builder games, you have controls to increase time and speed, as well as some additional information, things you can build, resources that you currently have, resources that you're gathering, and any mission directives that you might need to complete. There is an in-depth story in the campaign mode, and actually the story is pretty good.
Amy, this is ISA Mission Control calling from Earth. Are you with us? Do you copy?
Affirmative, Houston. I am with you.
Great. The primary Mars module has already touched down at the designated landing zone. It's your turn to take control of the mission. Check the left edge of your display. You'll find your directives there. Follow them to set up the initial base on Mars's surface. I'll give you some time to settle in. When you're ready, go ahead and initiate our terraforming mission. Houston out.
Now, honestly, the game begins a little slow. But you know, most builder games begin pretty slow with basic resources that you need to gather and basic people that you have to start off your colony. Per Aspera is no different. As you lay down buildings, roads are created, and your little worker, who's a little robot, will go back and forth delivering resources to build up either the base or collecting resources from a specific manufacturing plant or mine. In order to get new workers, you'll need to put down something called a worker hub, which gives you a radius and will also show you roads that will be created when you place down your second worker hub. As you complete one directive, another directive will appear, giving you guidance on what to do next. Think of this as your basic tutorial. As you get further in the game, your base becomes sprawling and even branches out into other areas. So being able to manage your resources and also resources from multiple base starts to become a significant challenge. Eventually, you'll get far enough in the game where you'll need humans to run some of the base building pieces. And then you'll be responsible for not only a spaceport, but for your colony and for food and water, which are essential to being able to keep your colony of people alive. The research tree is pretty in-depth, having 3 main fields: engineering, space, and biotech, but many areas to uncover and unlock, with the ultimate goal in making Mars habitable for life. So I played this game for several hours, and I understand some of the people's complaints about the game. Mainly, people found that moving items between different buildings and factories and mines and food and water processing plants was a little bit too tedious and hard to manage. Honestly, in my opinion, it felt like any other builder game out there. I didn't find these problems or complaints a particular challenge. I thought it was pretty normal for base building games. And I actually found the game quite enjoyable. Now, one of the downsides that people are saying is that the mines have limited resources. That you can only, let's say from this chemicals, I can only gather 1,150 from this before it runs out and I'm stuck. That means I would need to go and find another chemical area to be able to extract the resources that I need to keep my base going. I don't see this as a deterrent. I see it as a little bit realistic. I mean, you would never have a never-ending mine. The mine would eventually run out. So this is a bit of realism that I actually quite enjoy. The problem that it brings up, I think what people are complaining about, is as resources run out, there really is no need for those base buildings to be there anymore because you're never going to be using resources in that area. So your colony is actually on the move. I can see where people find this kind of frustrating because they constantly have to be moving around and trying to make sure that they got the appropriate resources to keep their base alive. But like anything, it's just a matter of figuring out a good balance and working with the planet itself, which is significantly huge. So there's really, to me, no issue about moving stuff from one base to the next base and continuing to keep your exploration of Mars going. I haven't gotten deep into the story, but I know from their trailer that there is even a twist that will happen sometime later where you're fighting something, whether it's a rogue AI or whether the current AI goes rogue, or we find some sort of inhabitants on Mars itself. This game is very similar to Surviving Mars if you've never played Surviving Mars, and actually I think in some ways it does quite a better job than Surviving Mars did. Since the developers have been dedicated to keeping the game going and providing constant updates, I think Per Aspera will only get better over time. I will be playing a Let's Play of Per Aspera, maybe up until like 3 episodes of the series, just to give you guys a feel of the game and how it plays out in real time, and you could be the judge of whether you want to purchase it or not. Again, not only do I like the visuals, I like the fact that they incorporated some actual science into the game. I think the gameplay is good for a builder game. Honestly, I played worse. And I like the concept of being on Mars and trying to save human civilization by terraforming Mars. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'd love to have you in the community. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below, and make sure to hit that notification bell. That way you know when I go live and when I post new videos. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.